It's an experience, an American icon, and Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga is the only place you'll find their new 2018 line. Are you ready to ride? Join the club. Go to Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga. Just look for the sign, 153 and Amnicola. Indian Motorcycle, the true American original.
Join We've Got You Covered with Scott Schrader every Saturday from 10 to 11 on Nooga Radio. From finance to fixtures, we discuss everything you need to know about buying or owning a home, the pitfalls, the perks, and everything in between. Saturday mornings, 10 to 11, right here on Nooga Radio.
If you want to discover the real hope for your life through inspirational music, relevant messages, and testimonies from others who have already found hope, then we encourage you to visit the second annual My Hope Conference, October 7th through 9th at Hickson First Baptist Church. Free admission and childcare is provided for kids up to pre-K, while those in kindergarten through 5th grade will attend the Kids Hope Rally. For more info, visit myhopeconference.com or call Hickson First Baptist Church at 423-877-2467.
Nooga Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours with Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nooga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7
Nooga Radio.
Good morning, good people in the city of Chattanooga. How's everybody doing this morning? It's a beautiful day here in the city. There's sunshine going on. Y'all know what it is. Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show. I'm taking it from the streets to City Hall, from City Hall to the mayor's office. So much going on within our police department. From the valley low to the mountaintop, giving you guys a bird's eye view to what's going on in the city of Chattanooga. Oh, man. So people continue to inbox talking about Marie. Can you tell that girl? First of all, I'm not a girl. I'm a grown woman. Okay. Let me get that correct for those who don't understand. I'm 30 years old and I only have one mother, one father. And even they can't tell me what to do. They offer advice because they don't pay any of my bills. There's one person who heads my life, and that is God. And the only other person who gives me advice is my programmer, the person who helps me run this show. Second to that, I don't care what you got to say about me because I'm here for the benefit of the people. If I worried about what people said, they would have shut me up a long time ago. I'm just telling you the truth. I care about the people and I care about you being free. And why do I care about you being free? Because the word says he that is free indeed. And free indeed, I believe, is liberty. Individual liberty that is guaranteed to us by the Constitution, which you don't get taught, your children don't get taught in school, because we are socialized to believe in democracy, which is a mob rule. Oh, yeah, I'm hitting you straight out the gate. Stop the inbox because you're not going to stop what God has given me. And he gave me a voice, just like he gave you one that you won't use to speak up against the foolishness that you see just as well as I do in the city of Chattanooga. Yeah, I'm talking to the listener who only listens to my show to hate on what I'm doing, but you won't get up off your butt and make your community better on your own behalf. Let's be real about this. I'm out here doing work, and the work that I do is not just on this radio station. And the work that I do through the radio station is for the benefit of the community because I offer my platform to people within the community and for the things that are happening within the community. And the moment that I stop talking about community and I focus like everyone else does in radio and television and social media, focus on Trump and what he's doing and his White House and his staff, that means I will continue to allow potholes in my streets. That means I will continue to allow the mayor to not show up when he's supposed to be talking about everything that's going on in the city of Chattanooga. That means that I will stop showing up and talking to the people at city council who are responsible for what happens in the city of Chattanooga. That means I'm going to stop speaking out about what is happening from the police department, which nobody is taking responsibility for. Why am I here? I'm here for the benefit of you. And some of y'all too, in your own way, with your emotional feelings, to see that I'm here for your benefit. Now, is what I talk about when I talk about a lot of things, is it tough? Admit that. It's tough. It's tough talking about race. It's tough. It's tough talking about slavery. It's tough talking about the police. It's so sensitive. I don't get why. It's tough talking about finances. Nobody wants to answer those questions that I continue to ask. And every time I do, when I talk to people like Demetrius Coonrod, I get pushback because according to her, the city council is not a collection agency, even though they give millions of dollars to the Chattanooga Chamber, which helps vet payment in lieu of taxes and the people who apply for that. I don't get any accountability for your tax dollars. I ask those questions. Where are the people on Power 94 who ask those questions? And I'm not taking shots at folks, but for real, it's more than just asking questions on the radio. When you see these folks in the street, do you ask them what they're doing for you? Or do you just dap them up because they got a title? You know what? I come straight out of the church. I grew up Pentecostal. And let me just say this before I get far too deep into this. 800-8949 is the call-in number if you want to call and chat it up with me. And I'm streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. But I came out of the church. I grew up Pentecostal, Church of God in Christ for those who even care. I'm a church kid. I'm a church baby. Okay? And I stopped caring about titles a long time ago. And that's one thing that I got a question for as well. Where is the church in the most church city in America, where we can't go a block hardly without seeing some faith-based organization, whether it is Baptist, AME, Methodist, Episcopal, Church of God, Church of Christ, Kojic. We can't go a block, a mile hardly without seeing a church. Where are the men and the women of faith who say that they hold up the bloodstained banner of Christ? Seeing all that is going on in the city of Chattanooga, and a lot of these pastors sure as heck don't mind shaking hands with Andy Burke when he comes and has photo ops, and when he wanted to come and just show up one time a year so he could get reelected this last time, and then you don't hear from him anymore. All that continues to happen. He doesn't make any statements. You know, before you come at me, do you even know who your council person is? And what has your council person? Because they're all one body, which means that they either are in agreement or they're not. None of them, outside of a Tuesday meeting, have done any work. And if you walked up to them and asked them, they either say no comment or put the responsibility on you as the citizen to know more than they do. And they won't call me and argue me on that. I believe that if you ask the people to hire you and put you in places of power, that you have the responsibility to ask the tough questions and to do the necessary work. You should know fiscal responsibility just as much as you should be asking questions. And these are the things that we should understand and come into agreement with. Forget the fact that I'm black and I'm a woman and that I'm on a libertarian almost type of situation. Well, we're not really in a box, but I'm on a radio station that is unlike any other. Well, we're not interested in talking about things that have nothing to do with local economy and the people. We're not interested in it. Not interested in it. And while you're talking to me, you could be talking to a person that you handed your power over to get some of this stuff into a line. I do not like disorder or disarray. It is something that frustrates me from my personal life to community. I like order because when there is order, things run smoothly as they should. And supposedly that is the whole purpose of government, is for there to be order, not anarchy. Now, we're going to talk about it right now because while people hit me up and asking me about the police, the thing that I continue to find through open records requests, because the thing that I want you guys to understand is instead of put your opinion aside, you as a citizen have a right to request open records on police officers or personnel within the city. You can request that. And why should you? If you continue to see instance after instance of things happening in leadership, of things happening within the police department, I guarantee you there is a pattern. And that is what I continue to discover. from people like Officer Michael Wanger, who beat 3 black men, Chris Tatum, Adam Tate, Angela Moore, coerced him into confessing for a crime that he did not commit. There's a pattern, a history. These officers have a history. For Officer Desmond Logan, who raped a woman 3 years ago, never lost his job, never had a formal investigation by the Internal Affairs Unit, never got brought up on criminal charges, raped somebody just a couple of months ago. It's a history. And then when we look at this police officer, because we're going to get into it. My folks, you want to talk to me? Oh, you better come ready. Because I do the work. It's a lot of people who get on the radio and they talk, or get on Facebook and they talk, but I do the work. The open records requests are right there at your benefit. If you want to request them, you can. And the open records request for this last officer from Sunday's incident of the mental health civilian who, instead of, and my suspicion, if I'm not a prophet, God forgive me, because I told y'all Monday and the last couple of days when I covered this story, I told you, I said, I can guarantee you they pulled up and they wanted to tell him to just put down his weapon. They weren't trying to calm him down. They weren't trying to talk to him. They pulled up on 10. And I'll be doggone if the statement, this didn't even come out of the open records, the statement that the officer put forth from his own attorney corroborated what I didn't even know. But what I felt in my heart corroborated it as truth. Man, don't tell me I'm not doing prophetic work up here. I told you. I tried to tell you because I love you. Now, if I love you, I'll tell you the truth. If I love you, I tell you the truth. The truth cuts. The truth is like a double-edged sword. It cuts. It cuts both ways. But it's for your benefit. Now, Officer Brian Cottle, before I get into his statement from his own attorney, has a history. 11 instances. This man, while people were quick to say, well, maybe he's not experienced. Maybe he, maybe he just doesn't have training. This man has 20 years of experience on the Chattanooga Police Department and is former military. So we can throw that out the window. You can toss that. No excuse. He's trained. This man is trained in hostage negotiation, which means that if you approach a situation where emotions are high, people are stressed, there's a threat of danger either to another or to themselves, I would believe as a hostage negotiator, if you were trained in that, you would approach and you put down your weapon. You put it back in the holster and you say, sir, I'm not a threat to you. You look like you're having a bad day. Can you talk? And now, that is not to say that the police has the overall outcome, because at the end, that person will make a decision for themselves. What I believe is that if you treat a person like a person and recognize that people are stressed and pressed on every side, and a lot of us are going through things that are hard to talk about in a society that is so fast-paced, where we don't really have time and we don't even really have the space. We don't have it in church. We don't have it in community. We don't have the space to talk about what we're going through without judgment, without people talking about us, without people spreading our business. We really don't have those spaces. And so I'm not surprised. And then in particular, when you live in the city of Chattanooga, you can't hardly go anywhere without seeing poor and homeless people more than ever before, out on the streets, hungry, with no place to sleep, no place to live. What encouragement when you continue to see communities disinvested in, but buildings popping up everywhere. What encouragement do we have? We continue to see what happens towards citizens. No accountability for leaders. And some who don't even go on the record to say anything because they don't want to be held accountable if they're wrong. What hope do people have? They approach this person, and instead of putting the gun away and saying, we're not here to hurt you. We don't really want to arrest you. We just want to understand what's going on. Can you talk to me and tell me what's going on? What is making you want to give up? Because I can't let you give up. There's a hope for you right now. Y'all know what my moniker is. I love you. If no one has taken the time to tell you that they love you today, I love you. And there's nothing that you can do about that. But how can I help you? That is supposed to be the question of those who serve. How can I help you? The police are no different. The police should come to a situation saying, how can I help? Not who can I arrest? What is this? How can I be of assistance? To try to calm people down, get people to talk, and explain what is happening. But you can't do that if you pull up to the scene and you got your guns out, you got your partner with his gun out, and they just telling you to put down the gun. Well, the guy wasn't pointing it at them. He was pointing it at himself because he was trying to commit suicide. What danger was he posing to you? Dude was trying to kill himself. He wasn't shooting at you. I'm perplexed. But this officer has a history. A history. 11 instances since 2014 of 4, which the Internal Affairs Unit within the Chattanooga Police Department reprimanded him, or at least wrote up statements. 4 out of the 11 about his conduct in any given situation, despite the fact that he has a 20-year career in law enforcement and is a military veteran. Now, according to the police spokesperson on Sunday, the officer accidentally shot off 3 shots at the individual who had already shot himself first. Now, immediately, I believe, hopefully, because I hope my listener, I am sure, I am confident that you have common sense to understand that if a person already shot themselves in the head, they're not a threat. And if they never shot at you, they're probably not a threat either. And that's not to say that you shouldn't be on alert when you pull up to the scene, but let's be realistic. If dude intended to shoot at you, he probably would have already done it. And if you had a partner, you could have had your partner that said, I need you to, you keep your gun up, but I'm going to talk to him and have him focus on me. And I'm going to put my gun away. So many ways that I could think about this. I don't have any formal police training because I'm not a police officer, but I'm a people person. And I understand that people who are already on edge, that person who's, on the causeway looking to jump off of the bridge into the river below, doesn't need anybody encouraging him to jump. He needs somebody, or she needs somebody that will talk them down and get them to focus on why they need to live, not what they need to do right now. Because the only thing I would want them to do is to consider that their life is more valuable with breath flowing through their body. Because once it's over, it's over. But we have the Chattanooga Police Department who swiftly says, this is the interesting thing, how they formulate all of this stuff so quickly. It's like they must tweet each other or text each other right quick every time something comes out, because they immediately come out with statements. Immediately. And to me, that's a problem in and of itself, that the first thing you want to do is open up your mouth without investigating and seeing what happened. That's a problem, people. So they said that he shot off accidentally. And according to the officer himself, he stated that that was a lie. That was a lie. So it says Janie Parks Varnell of Davison Haas, who are representing Officer Cottle, I'm assuming that's how you say his name, with the Chattanooga Police Department states, contrary to previous reports, Officer Cottle did not discharge his service weapon unintentionally. So let me put that in plain English. Contrary to what the people within my own department stated, they lied because that's not what really happened. He did not accidentally shoot a man who was deceased. He purposefully, let me pause in case you missed that. He purposefully discharged his weapon to protect himself and other officers as he was trained to do in these types of situations. But that's the most important part, that he purposefully discharged it to protect himself because it wasn't about the person who was suffering. To protect himself and the other officers as he was trained. Y'all, as he was trained to do in these types of situations. Now, I don't know about you, but that seems quite intentional. We're going to continue to get into it on the second half of the segment, but as he was trained to do. It's Thursday. Marie with the Marie Mott Show, talking about the lawlessness of the police and city leaders who continue to remain silent in these instances, and even how there is no loyalty amongst the thieves that we call the police because they can't even get their stories together. It's Thursday, and we're talking about what's going on in the city of Chattanooga, and I hope you stay tuned for the second half of the segment because I'm going to continue to read the officer's statement that came out on behalf of his lawyer. Y'all know what today is? It's Thursday. That means the Gridiron Gang show is going to be tonight at the Starbucks on the North Shore, and it's going to be Red Bank versus Signal Mountain. Oh, man, it's going to be a good game tonight. Y'all come on out and support us starting at 7 p.m. Stay tuned for the second half of the segment. We going to get into it.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Authorities say mosquito-borne viruses have killed 2 people and made 6 others ill in Georgia. A spokesman with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution said it's against department policy to say which counties had cases. Some precautions against mosquitoes include staying inside at dusk and dawn, wearing long, loose-fitting clothing, and using insect repellent. A second debate between Republican Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn and Democratic ex-Governor Phil Bredesen scheduled for October 10th in Knoxville. Bredesen and Blackburn have also confirmed a September 25th debate at Cumberland University in Lebanon. And in the Marion County trial of Angela Kilgore, the jury finds the 53-year-old guilty of first-degree murder, felony murder, and other felonies in the May 2016 slaying of 72-year-old Valley Pawnbrokers owner Jerry Ridge. Val St. John for Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Let's face it, Old Faithful isn't as faithful as it used to be. Constant repairs are a hassle and can rack up quick in money and time. Landers McClarty Ford can fix that. Right now, you can get a 2016 Ford Focus, 34,000 miles, only $11,491. A 2017 Chevy Spark with only 17,000 miles for less than $12,000. A 2015 Volkswagen Jetta with less than 21,000 miles for $11,991. Yeah, browse their entire inventory of new and new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs online at Landers McCarty Ford of FortPayne.com. Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. If you can't find your next perfect ride, they'll go find it for you. Big city selection, small town prices, friendly service, and top dollar for your trade. The savings are waiting and only a short drive away, so what are you waiting for? Get started with your personalized shopping today at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com.
Nooga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello? Who am I speaking with? Eric, you're our winner. Really?
You'll receive tickets for all 3 races between the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup races.
Holy cow.
In addition, you'll receive a 2-night stay at the Microtel Hotel and restaurant accommodations at 2 area restaurants.
Nooga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Nooga Radio.
92.7.
Your NASCAR racing station. Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Nuga Radio 92.7.
Join Nuga Radio and the Gridiron Gang live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. We're talking all things high school football. There's a specialty brew or refresher weekly inspired by the game of the week. Sweet treats, extended hours all season long, and we're pet friendly. Portions of all proceeds support local schools and educational scholarships as well as after-school programs. It's football time in Tennessee. Join us every Thursday live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks, 10 North, your North Shore neighborhood living room.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga roofing contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins. Are you tired of making 1% on your investments with the banks, even 2 or 3% at best? Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins.
Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Brainerd Road.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that anyway.
Join We've Got You Covered with Scott Schrader every Saturday from 10 to 11 on Nuga Radio. From finance to fixtures, we discuss everything you need to know about buying or owning a home, the pitfalls, the perks, and everything in between. Saturday mornings, 10 to 11, right here on Nuga Radio.
Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
For your Thursday, a few more scattered afternoon showers and storms will pop up. Not as hot, highs into the upper 80s with a few more afternoon storms for Friday. Looking to buy or sell a home? Real Living Southern Realty provides real answers and customized marketing solutions. Looking to buy or sell a home? Check rlsouthernrealty.com for more. Serving the entire tri-state area, and I'm Source E12 Chief Meteorologist Pastor 4.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Oh, I'm back for the second half of the first segment. That's right, it's Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show, telling you what's going on in the city of Chattanooga. Everybody's talking. Everybody's talking on social media about what's going on. Everybody's whispering. But when it comes to accountability, where is the council? Where is the mayor? Where in the world is Andy Burke? I ain't seen him. Have y'all seen him anywhere? Maybe the community needs to roll up. We need to roll up the Burgers with Burke. And we just need to crash his next lunch event with the community. And we're gonna come with signs. Maybe that's what we need to do. Since we can't find him anywhere. And we sure as heck not hearing anything from him. Now, I left off at the first half of the segment, and I talked about what I tried to tell you guys because I didn't know it. I didn't know it, but there was something on the inside that said, because this is just the experience. First of all, this is the Black experience with police. We already know how they pull up in our communities. We know how they pull up in our communities. Let's not lie about it. We know how they pull up in communities that are poor, that are not just Black, but that are Hispanic, that are white poor. They're not pulling up with peace and negotiations. No. They're pulling up with the intention of trying to just lay down the law that they don't even know. Now, according to the police officer himself, the CPD spokesperson got it completely wrong. And the last time I checked, my grandmother said that a half-truth is an absolute whole lie. That there ain't no such thing as a half of a truth. Either you're telling the whole truth or you ain't saying nothing at all. And if you want to call and chop it up with me, y'all know what it is. 800-8949. If you can't, drop a comment on Facebook. Let me know that you're tuning in. But get in on this conversation, folks, because this is ridiculous. 11 separate instances, 4 investigations. And this man still has a job. And it says that contrary to previous reports, Officer Cottle did not discharge his service weapon unintentionally. He did not accidentally shoot a man who was deceased. He purposefully discharged his weapon to protect himself because it's not about the people who are suffering. It's not about offering peace to the community. It's not about assisting the people because I've already told you a million times, Warren versus the District of Columbia states that the municipal cop is not responsible for protecting you or aiding you, but for only protecting the city at large, which I would deem that as the people, whoever they feel necessary or deem respectable enough to protect, which I would assume that if Mayor Burke called any of the Chattanooga police officers for assistance, they would come and they would assist him, which they also serve at his will because he is the mayor. He is the CEO of Chattanooga. He is the head guy. He is the person in power. The person with the most power, because I found an interesting flow chart when I was going through the CAFR, and I'm going to talk about that probably next week because I need some time to digest all of the financial numbers for the city of Chattanooga. When I was going over the financial report for the city of Chattanooga for 2017 that comes out annually through an independent audit, it's this nice flow chart that's in there that says citizens of Chattanooga at the top. And then the flow chart goes to the mayor, and then it extends out down through there. But it first states, even in the flow chart, that the mayor understands that his power it's right beneath the people. These folks aren't dumb. They understand exactly who has the power and where it comes from. But what we find is that it's a whole lot of foolishness going on. Officer Cottle is a 20-year law enforcement officer and a military veteran. He is certified hostage negotiator and a member of the crisis intervention team. Cottle has been extensively trained in critical incidents involving suicidal parties, hostage negotiations, and high-intensity situations. Let us continue to read. On August 26, 2018, multiple officers, because that's what they do, they have nothing else to do but to show up, 10, 20 of them, 5 of them to one call, responded to a suicidal individual with a weapon. When officers entered the apartment of the individual, interesting, an apartment, he brandished a firearm. Officer Cottle and other responding officers began giving commands of the suspect. Notice it says suspect. But let us continue. To drop his weapon. Officer Cottle, using his training as a hostage negotiator, tried to convince the suspect to drop the weapon. The suspect refused to comply and fired one round, shooting himself. Almost simultaneously, the suspect shot Officer Cottle from a distance of approximately 15 feet, fired 3 quick rounds as he was trained to do both in military and in law enforcement. Officer Cottle fired his weapon because he perceived. Now, I don't know how you could perceive, but let me just continue. Let me not stop reading. Because he perceived a threat to himself and other Chattanooga police officers on scene. His attorney continues, Officer Cottle and other responding officers found themselves in a stressful and rapidly evolving situation involving an armed suspect with a gun. After the suspect fired his weapon, Officer Cottle acted reasonably, pursuant to his extensive training and years of experience. Steve Bearden says, I'm always mad all the time. Baby, I ain't mad about nothing. What you should be mad about is, first of all, people who are hurting being considered suspects. What you should be mad about is if you live in the city of Chattanooga, because I don't know where you live, how these instances happening, how One section, the police department spokesperson says this happened unintentionally, but the officer himself states that is a lie. What you should be worried about is what's going on in the police department and all this foolishness that continues to happen, and not how I talk on the radio. But you tried it. Thank you. You tried it. People, this is ridiculous. But this is exactly what I told you guys happened. I didn't know what happened, but I told you I knew. I knew. He didn't accidentally do it. That's absurd. Nobody lets off 3 shots accidentally. Nobody. So the first problem that we have here is when things happening, the first response of the Chattanooga Police Department is to begin to make excuses. Now, the second problem that I have with this is if this man is supposedly trained in hostage negotiation, crisis intervention, and high-intensity situations. Now, I don't know what people's experience is with hostages, but with hostages, usually meaning you're holding another person prisoner at the threat that you would possibly kill them if your demands are not met. I don't suppose that because hostage situations, that's the whole purpose in calling somebody who's trained in, because they're not instances that are resolved right away. And so this is one of the bigger problems when we start talking about policing in community in general, is that the police show up and they have zero patience with what's going on. Everything has to be done right now. No time. No time to waste. No time to wait. Right now. But if I request open records, I got to wait days and days and days to get open records to even start finding out some of this information. Do y'all see how this works? The expectation for you who have all of the power, you the listener, you the person watching, you have all of the power. It's for you to hurry up and the situation to be resolved. And still, I've got to spend months, week after week after week, going back to city council, going back and forth with them on social media, trying to figure out what I can do, requesting meeting after meeting with the mayor, the police chief that consistently gets denied. Folks talking about me, you don't understand. And you don't understand because you haven't even been on this journey. A lot of people who comment, I don't see you at city council. I doubt that you're requesting any meetings from any city leadership to ask questions. I'm not against police. Do I believe that they need to be defunded? Absolutely. They get far too much money from the city's operating budget. Absolutely. I believe that we need more sheriffs than what we need in the form of a municipal cop. Why? Because it's the municipal cop that continues to overrun, to steamroll past your individual liberty, which is guaranteed to you in this republic, because this is not a democracy. This is not a mob rule, even though that's what they have had you to believe. Because the pledge says, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, meaning everybody, not the people that certain people like, not certain people's best friends, but it said liberty and justice for all, and in the republic for which it stands, the republic. Not a mob rule, not a democracy. This is not a democracy. Democracies fail. That's why we're failing, because we believe that this is a democracy. It's not. The people have the power, and the power is given to the people by the Constitution, which is your sword, your weapon, your binding power against tyranny, anarchy. You want order? Follow the Constitution, but people don't do it. Number one, because the people leading us don't know it, and we can't make them do it because we don't know it either. And what we don't know is actually what's killing us. It's what's getting us locked up, getting us trapped in the system because we don't know. Don't talk to me about what I'm saying. I'm not mad. What do I have to be mad about? The only thing I'm mad about is, in my instance, the work that I'm doing is much like Harriet Tubman, who stated that I freed 1,000 slaves and I would have freed 1,000 more if they only knew. If they only knew that they were slaves. I surmise that even in these times, there are people who I'll free and I will help by the information in which that I provide, because it's not just about me giving you stuff. I want you to use it. Y'all know what tomorrow is. It's Know Your Rights Fridays. We cover constitutional law and your rights. I'm here for you. And I don't want you to just learn it, be interested in it, but I want you to assert it to protect you, your family. You're responsible for it, to teach your children so they can be safe, so that they don't have to live in fear. The only way to overcome fear is to assert what you know and your God-given right to exist in this republic without fear. You overcome fear with knowledge, love, and respect, and certainly with information. And every time I learn a part of the Constitution, one more right, every time I learn one more right, it's one more chain that falls off in the mind that has me to believe that I am powerless, that there's nothing that I can do, no way I can help. It's not the truth. Where would Angela Moore be if Courtney Parham, who's not a lawyer, decided that just because she didn't know law, she's not a lawyer, that there was nothing that she could do to help try to get her friend free from jail from a crime he did not commit on a life sentence? What if she believed that there was nothing she could do and she was powerless? I continue to state and to surmise that we're either going forward or we're going backward, but we're moving either way. And either we're going to push forward, and when I say it's going to hurt, I don't know where we got this expectation where moving forward is not going to be a painful, hard, arduous process. We've been fighting for freedom and liberty for so long. For so long, and the war ain't over. It's not over. You know how it's not over? When I read trash like this. I know my fight is just beginning. When I read trash like this, first of all, that you're going to piss on a deceased man who was struggling, trying to decide if his life was worth living or worth throwing away, and you had no patience for him. And then let's just tell the doggone truth anyways. That the way that the Chattanooga Police Department often assists, or just police in general, assist people who are going through mental disabilities or going through hard mental situations, is that especially if they have a weapon, they're going to be shot anyways. Let's be real. Let's be real. He probably would have been shot anyways. Because that's what this police department does. They've done it. They've done it. If they'll shoot a black man in the back running away, if they'll shoot a white woman in Saudi Daisy who drove away through the windshield to kill her, you telling me that this man probably wouldn't ended up dead as well? Come on, y'all. We can't be that slow. It hurts. But I told you. I felt it. Do y'all believe me now? You don't have to believe me, because a lot of y'all will just look in the mirror and lie to yourself and say that I'm just against police. No, it looks like the police is against you. I'm not against the police. I'm not out here hunting police down or anything. If anything, I'm trying to make sure that I don't have to interact with them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't want to talk to them. I don't. But you got the spokesperson who's lying, the person who shot the man who says he intentionally shot him. So whatever they stated was not the truth. He's got 11 instances over his career, 11 instances, 4 of which only were investigated. Never was he reprimanded. Jesus Christ. High crime area, dude, I'm not even going to acknowledge that because that's stupidity. That's stupidity. Crime is lower than any point in history. If you don't know that, you're not reading. You're not reading. Steve Bearden, I can't help you. You're making excuses. And I'm not in the game. I'm not interested in excuses. I'm not interested in excuses. This, first of all, started with a lie. A lie between the spokesperson and the person who did the shooting in the first place. So there's nothing for you to talk to me about. I didn't tell the lie. We just found it out in a couple of days. And this is the interesting about the truth. You can't hide it. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. They're not doing you, any taxpayer, a service. They're doing you a disservice. They're doing you a disservice. Everybody with a gun ain't dangerous. Let me say that again. Everybody with a gun ain't dangerous. It's a lot of people police probably walk up to the street and talk to who are concealed carrying. They wouldn't even know. So just because you have a gun doesn't mean you're dangerous. And definitely if you got a gun pointed to your head because you're so stressed, you're thinking about ending your life, how are you scared? And if these folks are so scared, why are they police officers? We don't need scared people with a badge and a gun. We don't need it. And if you had a tough time in your military career, I don't need you being a police officer carrying your baggage over into the police department either. No, we need to stop making excuses. I'm not interested in excuses. And that's all I'm saying from you, fam, is excuses. They're not going to make any excuses about shooting you or putting you in handcuffs. They won't do it. This is ridiculous. And nobody is calling them on it. That they continue to get caught up in lies. People are being shot. Nobody is being helped. People are being raped. People are being brutalized. Innocent people sent to jail. And people continue to make excuses. Well, I know good police officers. I continue to submit. And we have to acknowledge this, and we're going to wrap up with this first part of the segment, that before they have any, because they're not even, they don't protect you. Warren versus the District of Columbia, read it for yourself. They're not here to protect you. They're not here to serve you. That's not their purpose. Read it for yourself. You don't believe me. But folks, we can't keep lying about what's going on. And the mayor is the one responsible, as well as the sheriff, for reining in all of this crap that continues to happen. And nobody's doing that. Nobody is doing that. I shouldn't be doing more work than the people who get paid to lead. And I'm going to say that with fierceness. Y'all know what it is. Marie with the Marie Mott Show. Guess what? If no one has taken the time to tell you that they love you today, Marie Rachel Hogue Mott, that's my whole government name, loves you. And it's absolutely nothing. And I mean nothing. Nothing that you can do about that. I'm going to keep going on. I'll be on for another hour. Stay tuned for the second part of the segment.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Authorities say mosquito-borne viruses have